Some women bring light the moment they walk into a room. Others, well, the light returns the moment they walk out. Now, don't get me wrong. This isn't about bitterness, and it's not about blame. It's about clarity. Because if you've lived long enough, and I know you have, you've seen it for yourself. Not everyone who smiles at you is a friend, and not every hand you hold is meant to hold yours back. Life's too short to keep giving your time, energy, and hard-earned peace to women who drain you, confuse you, or leave you second-guessing yourself. Especially the ones who hide behind charm, beauty, or those perfectly polished social graces. In today's video, we'll uncover 6 unmistakable signs of bad women, traits you can't afford to ignore. This isn't about judgment, it's about wisdom, about recognizing who deserves a seat at your table and who's only there to take the bread. As Marcus Aurelius once said, the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. I'd add, it also depends on the company you keep. Let's sharpen that clarity together. Ready? Let's begin. 1. She's always the victim. The first sign of a bad woman is one many men overlook until it's too late. She's always the victim, and I mean always. It doesn't matter if it's a stranger at the grocery store, her best friend of 20 years, or her last 3 ex-husbands. Somehow in every story, she's the one who got hurt, betrayed, or wronged. You sit across the table from her listening, nodding, maybe even feeling protective at first. She's convincing. She paints vivid pictures of how unfair life has been to her, how misunderstood she is. And if you're not paying close attention, you might think, maybe she just needs someone to treat her right. That's the hook. But the longer you stay, the more you realize this isn't about past wounds. This is about control. I knew a man, Tom, a good man, steady, kind. He met a woman like this after his divorce. At first, he thought she was refreshingly open. She told him everything, how her ex lied to her, how her boss held her back because he was intimidated by strong women, how her family always took her sister's side growing up. He admired her strength for getting through all that. But as the months passed, the stories never stopped, and they always followed the same script. Everyone was toxic, every job ended unfairly, every friendship ended in betrayal. Eventually, Tom found himself playing a role he didn't sign up for. He was either the hero, constantly reassuring her she was right, or the villain when he disagreed, or heaven forbid, suggested she take some responsibility. This is where it gets dangerous. A woman who sees herself as a perpetual victim will never take ownership of her role in anything. She will rewrite every situation to suit her version of the truth. And if you get close, you'll be dragged into that narrative, often as the next source of her suffering. You'll be the one who let her down, the one who never really understood her. It's a cycle, and it's exhausting. Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control other people. We can only control ourselves. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." But the woman who clings to victimhood refuses that power. She surrenders to life's circumstances and demand. Everyone else bear the weight of her emotions. She will drain your energy, your patience, and if you're not careful, your peace of mind. So what do? You recognize it for what it is. You stop playing the rescuer. You don't take responsibility for someone else's wounds that they refuse to heal. You stay grounded in reason, not emotion. You offer compassion. You keep your boundaries. And if the stories never change, you step back, quietly, firmly, Stoic wisdom reminds us that peace is found within. And if someone repeatedly pulls you into chaos, it's not unkind to walk away, it's wise. 2. She's addicted to drama. The second sign is one you'll feel in your gut before you see it with your eyes. She's addicted to drama. And I don't mean the occasional emotional outburst we're all guilty of now and then. I'm talking about a woman whose entire life seems like an endless stage play, one she's directing, starring in, and rewriting by the hour. If life around her gets too calm, too steady, she'll find a way to light a match and burn it down just to feel alive again. To her, peace is boring. Stability makes her restless, and without even realizing it, you'll be pulled into a cycle of conflict, confusion, and emotional chaos that never seems to end. The pattern usually starts small. Maybe one day she's upset because you were distracted while she was telling a story, or you didn't text back quickly enough, and suddenly it's proof you're pulling away. What was a quiet evening turns into an argument you didn't see coming. You spend hours trying to explain yourself, apologizing for something you don't fully get. 3. She manipulates your emotions. The third sign is a tricky one. It's subtle, almost like an art form. She manipulates your emotions. At first, it feels like kindness. She'll be sweet, caring, almost overly considerate, and she knows just how to say things to make you feel good about yourself. It feels like validation. But over time, you'll start noticing a pattern. Whenever you start to set boundaries or voice a concern, she'll shift the conversation. She'll make you feel guilty for having an opinion. She'll subtly guilt-trip you into doing what she wants, playing the role of the helpless woman who just needs you to take charge, to fix things. It can be as small as playing the "I'm so alone, I need you" card, or as serious as convincing you that everyone else is out to get her, and you're the only one who truly understands. It's powerful. You'll want to help. You'll want to save her. But that's the trap. You'll be given without receiving. You'll be adjusting your life to fit hers, always walking on eggshells, trying to avoid conflict and maintain the peace. But in the process, you'll lose yourself. You'll stop listening to your instincts, your own desires, your own needs. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control. But in a relationship like this, you'll feel like you're losing control. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, what stands in the way becomes the way. And in this case, the way is recognizing the manipulation and taking control of your own peace. The key to this sign is to always trust your gut. When you feel emotionally drained after an interaction, that's a warning sign. When you notice that your boundaries are being ignored or twisted into something they're not, it's time to step back. Don't fall for emotional manipulation. Recognize the games, and don't let them control your thoughts or actions. A woman who manipulates will drain your soul. A woman who respects you will empower you. You deserve the latter. 4. She undermines your self-esteem. This next sign is one that's both sneaky and dangerous, because it can be disguised as love or concern. She undermines your self-esteem. It starts with small comments. At first, you might even laugh it off. Maybe she makes a joke about your appearance or your career in a playful way. But over time, these comments start to feel more like digs. She's the one who says, "You could look better if you just tried harder," or "That project would have been more successful if you had followed my advice." And you'll find yourself second-guessing things you've always been confident about. The problem with this behavior is that it's a slow erosion. At first, you won't even realize it's happening, but soon you'll feel less like yourself, like you're walking on eggshells, constantly wondering what's wrong with you. A woman who undermines your self-esteem doesn't want you to shine. She doesn't want you to grow. She wants you to feel small, insecure, and in need of validation from her. And that's not love, that's control. You might hear her say things like, "I just want you to be your best self." But her actions will tell a different story. She doesn't respect you as you are. She's pushing you to fit a mold that serves her needs. This is where wisdom comes in. You have to understand that no one, no matter how close they are, has the right to diminish your worth. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to ye, but how you react to it that matters. Your worth is not up for negotiation. You don't need anyone to validate who you are. So when a woman consistently tries to make you feel small, the answer isn't to change yourself to please her. It's to walk away. Because a relationship built on undermining is never one where you can thrive.